What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. We got a new show alert, right? And I want to shout out to Random TV Reviews for reminding me. I had seen the previews for this show when I was looking at other things on OWN, and then I sort of forgot about it. So shout out for putting it out there so I can go ahead and hit my DVR. So this is Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Alabama. It is on the OWN network. And what we are looking at three very up and coming successful black couples in the Huntsville, Alabama area. And it looks like the concept of the show is that they, at one point in time, had created this organization, or I think it was like a loose agreement. They're all in real estate. And so their idea was for them to come together and to try to help out some of the less fortunate areas of Huntsville. It sounds like they wanted to get in front of gentrification and help the community before that gentrification bus came through. But because they're in real estate, and they're in all aspects of real estate, one of them does credit repair, which helps people be able to buy a house. A couple of them buy and flip, or buy empty lots and build from scratch. Another guy is a contractor, so he does all of the work. So it looks like it was a good fit, because the six of them together probably covered every level of what you need to do to be able to successfully buy a home. And for them to say, look, as successful black couples, we think it's a part of our responsibility to give back to our community. I can't do nothing but applaud that. I think that is a beautiful concept. But it is still a reality show. So we have some other stuff going on. So we have three couples. We have the Holts, who have they're Holt and Holt. They work together, and they have their own I guess buying and building homes. I guess they have their realtor's license, but it looks like they do more like buying and building or flipping. They buy it, fix it up, and resell it. But I'm sure you still need to have your real estate license. I know y'all will get me together in the comments. Then we have the first Scots. We have two Scots. We have a couple that's married, and then we have a couple that's getting married, and they're brothers. So that's why both of their last name is Scott. Because at first I was like, Lord, y'all know I'm not good with names. I said, Lord, this gonna mess me up, but I think I got it. So we have the first couple. Now look, I'm doing last names. Y'all know I work my way up to the first names. I know Tasha Hall is one. You can't forget Tasha. Tasha is the ringleader. She's the ringleader of this whole little situation, right? She's the queen bee. And it's funny because in their confessionals, they be throwing slick shade at each other, but I think that it's just in a it wouldn't be me kind of way, like more power to that couple, but I couldn't do it. But they throw it back and forth at each other, so it's cute. It is what it is. So far it is. You know how that go. You get a bunch of black women. The second couple, we have the host. I believe his first name is Martell, him and his wife. I forget her name. Yeah, I told y'all I get that. Martell is a male chauvinist pig. He is very condescending to his wife. He is very, I'm the man. I bring home the bacon. I take care of the home. You shouldn't want anything more than that. You should be happy staying at home, taking care of our kids. And I don't understand why you don't understand that that's your role and that's what you do. We see him and his wife having a conversation, and she seems very educated, educated woman. And she's saying, look, the kids are getting a little bit older now. I got my real estate license. I want to start selling real estate. I want to work. One, I need a sense. Yes, I love my children. Yes, I love being a stay-at-home mom, but I need a sense of belonging. I need to feel something more. I need something more. She said, I'm feeling stagnant. I feel like I'm not growing as a person. I need something more. And he was like, I mean, what you talking about? Your job is to take care of the kids. That's your job. And then, so when she started talking about wanting to work, he gonna throw this, I can't believe that you would want to sacrifice our children's well-being so you could be selfish and go get a job. She was like, what? She said, well, what was the purpose of me getting my real estate license? He was like, oh, I thought that was just for fun. I never thought you wanted to actually use it. Girl, honey. So that's their whole thing. And throughout the show, we're gonna get a little deep into that later because there's a little scene where all the guys are talking. So we'll dig a little deeper into his whole mindset later. But that whole interaction when he threw it at her talking about some, oh, I thought that was just for fun. And she was like, you know what, I'm done with this conversation. And he's like laughing, thinking it's a joke and don't understand. But that's gonna be a problem. Then the third couple, they're the Scotts, the Martell and his brother. Now they're in a they've been together for 7 years. They said that they were common law, but common law ended in Alabama. So he was like, so I put a ring on it. We're gonna do it right this time. I was like, okay. I think common law has pretty much ended most places. I know it ended in Maryland. And I don't think DC has it either. So, I don't know. I think common law is a thing of the past. We're going to have to move forward. You're going to have to, fellas, you're going to have to get it together. Either, like my mama say, either do it or get off the pot. I ain't going to say the word. I don't want to offend nobody. It's an Oprah show. But, she's into real estate. He does credit repair. He's also in school, they said. So, they didn't say what he's in school to do. But they are planning to get married. Now, she's a little older. She's in her 40s. He's in his 30s. She's older than him. So, they're sort of that non-traditional couple. But they look good together. They look like they're cool. They look like they're in a good place. So, here's how the whole show goes down. So, those are your three couples. So, here's what's going down. They called themselves the Comeback Group. That was the organization that they had started to try to build these homes up. It sort of fell apart. It didn't work out. Mr. Holt was saying that, did I write their first names down? I don't think I did. He was saying that they were doing a whole lot of meeting and not enough action, and it was just, he couldn't do it. He was like, I'm not going to keep meeting to have a conversation about the same thing. And so what ended up happening was the Holts, it was a 47 acre piece of land, which is a lot of land. That is a lot of land for a first-time project, for them to try to take on. And I think that they were just scared to pull the trigger. And they kept having meetings and kept having meetings and kept having meetings, and nobody they couldn't decide on, I guess, all the logistics of everything. And so Holt was like, look, if we don't get this, it's going to be gone. So he went on and bought the land. Now, his side of the story was, I bought the land so we wouldn't lose it while we were trying to figure everything else out, because we were getting ready to lose the land and then we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. The other members of the group felt like he went behind our back and bought the land to develop it on his own. So there was a trust factor that was gone. Now, I wasn't there. I'm just listening to both sides of the story. And from what I heard that he was like, look, I went on and bought this land because y'all was taking too long to get something done. Yes, if we could have figured something out, I was going to bring all y'all in. But since we couldn't figure nothing out, I kept this train moving. He seems like a boom, boom, boom kind of person. Like, look, we ain't about to, let's get it together. So, Tasha, they found a lot of land. It's 2 lots. And Tasha said, you know what? I understand that things didn't work out in the past, but this seems like a really good opportunity and a really good chance for us to try to bring the comeback, because what we want to do is good. It's a righteous idea, and I think we just got caught up in a whole lot of stuff. But the good news is that we didn't lose our friendship behind it. We are still friends, and let's try to make this work again. Everybody is sort of apprehensive because everybody is like, yeah, our friendship survived this time, but it might not survive next time. And it gets really tricky when you start bringing in other people. But they agreed. She got everybody to meet. They met. They went to the lot. They met where the lot was. And she got everybody to agree that they would try it again, that they would do this again. So, and I think that this time, buying 2 lots versus buying 47 acres, it's a big difference. And I think a smaller project might be better for them to get started and see if it's going to work. So I thought that was a good idea. But they agreed to do it. So that was that. Now the rest of the episode was more about their personal situation. So we see Tasha calling Martell. Martell is her husband. We have Martell and the other one is an M2. It's too many names that's alike. But Tasha, we see a scene where she's in the office, and she got this she wears some nice clothes. She got this bad blouse on with the tie. It was real cute. And I'm sure it's somebody's designer, because the outfit she has on her confessional looks like it's Gucci. I don't know if it is or not. Y'all know I'm not a fashionista. But she looks good. She knows how to wear her clothes, honey. She got that little petite body for it, too. But anyway, all the people on the show look nice. Look like they carry themselves nice. But anyway, we see her in the office, and we see her trying to call Martell. Martell ain't picking up. He's not only is he not picking up, girl, he keeps sending her the voicemail, honey. And she keeps calling, keeps calling, keeps calling. And he keeps sending her the voicemail. So he finally shows up at the office and he's like, what's up? What you want? And she was like, why didn't you answer the phone when I called? He was like, because I was on a call. And she was like, well, when I call you, you answer. I'm your wife. He was like, look, I was handling business. I was calling about this property, that property. She was like, well, what exactly were you doing? And she's like interrogating him. And so I'm sitting here like, why are you being so extra? Like, y'all are working. Y'all know y'all in that kind of business. Like, he was probably driving on the phone, just making phone calls. And he was like, I figured if you had something important to tell me, you would have texted me. Because if I don't answer the phone, clearly I'm doing something that's important. Like, I wouldn't not answer your call just to not answer your call. But if it's something with the kids or something urgent, why didn't you just call me? That's a man, woman, Venus, Mars thing. And honey, we could do this all day. But she was like, look, I just don't feel like we're on the same page. She said, when we first started this business, it was me and you all the time, out in the trenches, busting down walls, doing all of this. She was like, and I just feel like now you're doing your own thing and I'm doing my own thing and we're just not a cohesive unit. He said, look, this is what success looks like. I mean, I'm paraphrasing him. He was like, this is what the vision was, that I would be out in the field making the deals and you would be here in the office handling all of that. He was like, we work together, you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, we're working our own strengths to the good of the business. And she was like, nah, I don't like it. I don't like feeling like we're not on the same page or we're not working together anymore. And he was like, so what you want to do? He was like, you want to take that nice suit off and go put your sweats on and go back to busting down walls together? She was like, yeah, I would. He was like, I'm not. He said, that's what we working for. We working so we don't have to do that no more. I ain't doing that. And so then she was just like, all right, whatever. Well, you dismissed. He was like, excuse me? You heard me? You dismissed. He said, you know what? And I'm done with this. And you could tell he was pissed and irritated and probably a little embarrassed. Because, the cameras are on. And he rolls out. Like, I don't know if he meant to leave, but he left, honey. I said, oh, all that glitters ain't gold. Because, see, they're supposed to be like this marquee couple. But that lets me know, all that glitters ain't gold around here. So, next we see they're having a little dinner party. The Scotts, the ones that aren't married, they invited everybody over to have dinner. And, and here we see Marcel. The chauvinist, shoot, I can't remember the man's name. The chauvinist. This man is so much of a chauvinist that he wouldn't even carry a plate of the food from the kitchen to the table talking about, this is not my job. I don't know how to do this. This is not what men do. But let's rewind. Tasha gets there first. And they ask Tasha, well, where's Martell? That's her, her husband. She said, oh, I don't know. He'll be here when he gets here. So he walks in next. Because of editing, I don't know how long it was, but he walks in next. He was at a funeral for his uncle. So, of course, everybody looking at Tasha like, you ain't go to the funeral? For his family member? His uncle? Y'all been married for 12, 13 years and you didn't go? She said, no, I didn't go to the uncle. I had something else I had to do. So now the rest of the couples are looking at them like, okay, it's something going on here. First of all, they walk up in here together. Walk up in here separate. And Tasha act like she don't even know where he is. And then you have a death in the family and you don't go. Not only do you not go, when they asked you, where's your husband? You didn't say, oh, he had a death in the family. He's at the funeral. We had another obligation that I had to take care of for the business. And like, you could have said all of that. And people would have been like, okay, we understand. Because it's not like, all married couples, sometimes they have to do that. And if y'all have that type of business that's booming, 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 and you have another obligation, sometimes maybe you went to the wake, but you couldn't stay for the whole service. But for you to walk in so nonchalant and be like, oh, yeah, I don't know where he is. And then when he shows up, he was like, oh, I was at a funeral. Like, I would have been looking at y'all crazy too. So everybody was just like, what's going on here? So the guys separate. The guys go out to have a conversation, and the women stay in the kitchen. And here go that chauvinist making another comment, talking about something, yeah, where y'all belong. He gonna irk my nerves all day, every day on this show. I know it. So they outside talking. So as soon as the guys leave, the girls go up to Tasha and like, Tasha, you okay, girl? Do you need to talk? What's going on? Y'all know how people do. You know how the girls do. And they were like, look, if something's going on, you know you can lean on us. That's what we do. We're girlfriends like that. We look out for each other. And Tasha was like, oh, no, I'm good. You know, we cool. I'm good. I said, you know she ain't good. So then the other one, the one that wants to go to work, who's married to the chauvinist, she starts talking about what he said to her about her getting her license and like, oh, it's just a joke and this, that, and the other. And you know, of course, the other two are looking at her like, like, well, that's your husband, girl. You married him. That's what you signed up. Like, you know, that's the, like, you can see that's what they thinking, like. So the fellas are outside talking, and they ask Martell, is everything good or whatever. He's like, oh, we're good, we're great. You know, he's like, you know, we have our normal relationship ups and downs, but, you know, whatever we go through, it just makes us greater. And the other couples are in the confessional talking about how Tasha and Martell try to act like they got this perfect marriage, act like everything is great with them and everything is gravy, but they know all that glitters ain't gold, and there's a lot of shit going on with them, and they see the cracks. So then they get to talking to the male chauvinist. And they're trying to get him to understand that he is a male chauvinist. He was like, I'm not a chauvinist. He was like, I just believe that there are roles in a marriage, and they're just very defined. I don't feel like I'm a chauvinist. They were like, no, you're a chauvinist. Now, I added the pig part. But they were like, no, you're a chauvinist. And so he was like, well, I just don't understand. So Martell starts explaining. He was like, look, growing up, because his wife said she feels like a single parent, and he was like, I don't understand how she can feel like a single parent. I'm taking care of the house. Like, a single parent will have to worry about bills. She don't have to worry about bills. She don't have to worry about how the bills are being paid. She don't have to worry about feeding the kids. I take care of all that. So how can she feel like she a single parent? So Martell was explaining how he said, you know, growing up, my mother had a boyfriend who was trying to assume the father role in the home. Now, he took care of us. We were taken care of. However, never made it to a basketball game, never picked me up from school, never took part in any of the extracurriculars outside of maintaining the household. And so for that, we never built a father-son bond because he didn't play the role of father. So Mr. Chauvinist is going to say, well, I mean, you didn't have to worry about eating, though, did you? And so Martell was like, look, as a father, I love the fact that I take part in my children. Like, I love that I pick my kids up from school, that I make it to their basketball games. He was like, we make a good living. Me and Tasha make a very good living. We are fine financially. But I also feel good that I can be there for my kids and take part in their life and what they're doing in their life. Honey, that little chauvinist is going to turn to Martell and say, let me ask you a question. I mean, what do you get out of that? I'm like, maybe the fact that I'm taking care of, that I'm spending time with my kids, that I'm getting to know my children. What you mean? What do you get out of that? I said, he got issues. So they get to having dinner. I'm running long on this. I'm going to wrap it up. So they get to having dinner, and little Miss Tasha starts throwing these questions out, and they said that Tasha likes to stir the shit. That Tasha likes to throw stuff out there, like, you know, very gotcha type questions. It's good for conversation, but they were like, but sometimes you might want to ride home separate from your spouse by the time we get done. So it seems like they seem like they are genuinely friends. Not like on some reality shows where they putting people together, you can tell they ain't never met before that day. They seem like they are really good friends. So they talk about the marriage thing with the couple that's getting married, and why he waited so long. And he was like, he said some cute stuff that you probably could have got me to wait 7 years too if that's how you be talking, boo. Because he was like, well, when I met her, you know, she just seemed too good to be true. And I just couldn't understand why a woman like her was single. Because she was just everything. She was beautiful and gorgeous and this and that. I said, oh. He said, so I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because I said, a woman like her couldn't possibly be single without it being something wrong with her. He said, but no, the shoe ain't dropped. She's just beautiful. I said, yeah, I would have waited 7 years too. If that's how you talking, you could have got me to wait 7 years too, boo. Then we had the chauvinist couple, and they asked her, well, would you have married him if you had known She said, because she was saying, I didn't know he was like this when I married. Because they were like, you knew what you were getting when you married him. And she was like, no, I really didn't. I didn't know he was like this when we got married. Which means that y'all didn't have some very important conversations before y'all got married. Because if y'all didn't understand his role on marriage and what he thought a woman should be, I think she knew. I think he told her, because he seemed like the kind of person that's very upfront about that. I think she just, people don't believe it, or they think, oh, he just mean while the kids are babies. Once they get in school, then I'll be able to do my own thing. No, boo. He mean forever, ever, 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 you shouldn't be working out of the home, outside of the home. So, she said, well, if I had known that, I don't know if I would have married him. But then, so of course everybody was like, but then she cleaned it up and said, and I would have made the worst mistake of my life. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. She said, because I love my life. No, you don't. You lying. No, you don't. Because you just got finished saying how you don't feel fulfilled and how you're not feeling like you're growing as a person. So you lying. So then they start talking about non-negotiables. And she was saying, for me, a non-negotiable is if he talks down to me or calls me out my name. He already talked down to you. We done seen him do that twice in this one episode, him talking down to you. But okay. So somehow it gets back to Tasha and Martell. And Tasha starts talking about, because at first Martell said he don't have no non-negotiables. They were like, so it's nothing that Tasha could do that would make you want to divorce her. And he was like, nah. Tasha was like, I got one. So he said, she said, well, for me, cheating is a non-negotiable. And, no, she said, I'm sorry, y'all, I got distracted. I got distracted. So she said a non-negotiable for her is cheating, but she didn't say, like, if he cheat on me, I'm leaving him. She went through this long diatribe explaining levels of cheating. And basically what she said was, well, if somebody cheats on me once and I forgive them, and then they cheat on me again and they're disrespectful with it. And so the other lady was like, is there a respectful way to cheat? She said, well, yeah, there kind of is. And basically what she was saying is, if you cheat on me and I don't find out about it, or the woman don't call me, or it doesn't come to my doorstep, then we cool. But if you cheat on me and you sloppy with it and you disrespectful with it, that's the non-negotiable. And I was sitting here like, what? That don't even make no sense. Huh? So the non-negotiable isn't him cheating. The non-negotiable is you finding out about him cheating and him being sloppy about how he cheat. That's the non-negotiable. Boo boo. Boo. Boo boo. 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 So in the confessionals, what we find out is that the rumor around town is that Martell cheated. So that's what it sounds like, that she's talking about their situation and that she forgave him once. But now she finding out that he being a little sloppy out here in these streets and it's happening again. That's the impression I get. And Martell is looking like a hoe on the first row of church, honey. He looking uncomfortable as hell. Y'all. And that's what the episode is. So it looks very interesting. I can't wait to see next week, because the previews for next week, I ain't going to tell y'all the previews because I don't want to. But the previews for next week look like they're going to get a little deeper into this whole cheating thing. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. It's on OWN Network. Check it out. Drop it in them comments. Peace.